Let's turn to India now, specifically to the Indian rupee. The government has been trying to internationalize the rupee, basically getting more countries to use it. But turns out that's easier said than done. Take oil trade, for example. A big chunk of the oil trade is carried out by India's state-owned companies. None of them use the rupee. That's right. No crude oil import was settled in the Indian currency. This is from April 2022 to March 2023. The question is why? Well, the Petroleum Ministry has some answers. Listen to this, and I'm quoting. Suppliers continue to express their concern on the repatriation of funds in the preferred currency and also highlighted high transactional costs associated with conversion of funds. So two issues. One, difficulty in taking the money back home, which is repatriation, and two, conversion costs. The cost of converting foreign currency to the rupee and vice versa. Does that mean the rupee experiment has failed? Well, not really. Around 60 foreign companies, 60, have opened rupee accounts in India, 60 foreign companies. They hail from 22 different countries. So there is interest in the Indian rupee trade. The trick is to keep working. Let's look at some of the key questions here. Why is India trying to internationalize the rupee? What are the challenges? And what more can India do? Let's answer the why first. There are many reasons to push the rupee. Maybe you're trading with a sanctioned country like Iran or Venezuela or Russia. In such cases, you can't use the US dollar, so the rupee makes sense. Another reason is to reduce pressure on your foreign exchange reserves. When you import, you use the dollar. And some countries like India import a lot. Last year, our import bill was $700 billion. So using the rupee is better. It preserves your forex reserves. Then why aren't other countries agreeing? Well, there are two major challenges. Number one, the rupee is not fully convertible. Imagine you're a foreign trader. You want to convert a huge amount of rupees into a foreign currency. You can't just go to a bank and do it. You need approvals from the government. There are limits to how much you can convert. It's an immediate put-off. And number two, what will you buy with the rupee? Just look at the India-Russia trade. India buys 40% of its oil from Russia. Total imports are worth around $46 billion. So obviously, using the rupee helps us, India. But what will Russia do with it? Their imports from India are worth just $4 billion. 4 versus 46. So using the rupee doesn't help them. Russia will be stuck with piles of unusable rupees. In fact, they already are. So we've discussed the need and the challenges. Now let's also look at the solutions. It helps if you export a lot. Like in the case of China, their currency, the yuan, is also like the rupee. It's not fully convertible, yet China pays for Russian oil in the yuan. And Moscow has no problems accepting it. So that's one solution. Produce things that the world wants to buy. Or you can make the rupee fully convertible. Let foreign investors and traders bring in money, exchange it and use it. No limits, no curbs. But that move also has a downside. You will have to stop defending the rupee. If it loses value, you cannot sell dollars to prop it up. You will have to trust the market. The question is India ready for it? In the last few years, the Reserve Bank of India has defended the rupee multiple times. In fact, the IMF took note of it. They criticized the RBI's move in their annual report. So India likes that sort of control. And it's not an easy choice. But it's also not a thumbs down. If the rupee is not being used, it doesn't mean that the Indian economy is not doing well. That's not how it works. Globalizing the rupee is not like flipping a switch. It will take time. You need to rebuild a strong export base. Your economy's fundamentals should be strong, and your trading partners have to be on board. And things are moving in that direction. So it's not a question of if the rupee makes it. It's a question of when.